It's me, Lady Rampant, and welcome to my makeup tutorial, Get Ready with a Red Head. Now, as you can probably tell from the accent, I am from Glasgow, but this year I have teamed up with ISAWITFIRST as their official Pride partner. Yes, over the course of June, we're going to be bringing you lots of exciting Pride content, so keep an eye out on the ISAWITFIRST social media platforms and my social media platforms at Lady Rampant. Now, ISAWITFIRST sent me a huge gifted package, and I mean huge. I'm wearing it right now and I look fabulous. So if you want to see how I achieved this gorgeous drag look, then keep on watching. Alright, stage number 1, and we're going to block those eyebrows. So grab yourself a glue stick and make sure you're going against the grain on the eyebrow, and then you're going to go back on the grain and push it back down. If you've got sideburns, make sure they're covered as well, and any other facial hair that you want to cover, make sure they're nice and coated in glue, because then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your comb or your spoolie and you're going to push them all flat onto the skin and clean up any excess glue as you go. Now, I actually do about 5 layers of glue, but you're only going to see me do 1 here for time constraints. So it's important to remember that after each layer, you make sure that the glue is nice and dry before you add another one. And because I'm a queen in the go, I don't have time to watch glue dry, I also use a hairdryer just to speed up the process. Once that's done, grab yourself some translucent powder or setting powder and set it and forget it. Don't forget to dust off any excess and leave the face nice and clean for you to go in with your foundation. Stage number 2, we're going in with the forehead now, and I actually do my forehead first and work my way down my face. So I've went in there with some primer and now with my base foundation, making sure the forehead is nice and covered to provide a base for me to go back in now with my dark contour cream colour, blending that out in a semi-circle motion. Then I'm going to grab my white TV paint stick and I'm going to hit the middle of my face, just making sure that the light parts are picked up before blending that out across the eyebrows and into the middle of my forehead. Now once you've done that, now you're going to map out the shape of the eyebrows, nice and high, a nice high arch for a nice feminine drag brow. And a lot of drag artists might tell you that your eyebrows need to be absolutely symmetrical, they need to be twins. Well, I'm here to tell you, no they don't. They just need to look like they're for the same family tree. So the trick to doing this actually is making sure that the upper line on either side of the brow here is relatively symmetrical to the other one, as close as you can get it. And don't worry too much about the line underneath because you can tidy that up later with some white concealer. Then you're going to grab your dark cream contour colour and you're just going to go back in, you're going to fill in the brow and then use the edge of my finger at the bottom of it just to blend it out into the foundation which hasn't been set yet. And this is going to provide you a nice brow base for your ombre that you're going to create later with some different eyeshadows. Once that's done, I'm going back in again with the white TV paint stick underneath the brow just to even them up on either side, just to make sure that they're more symmetrical now. And also this white underneath the brow bone is going to give you the chance to build a good base for when you go back in with your shadows. And that will just make sure that those colours pop. Now the good trick to drag makeup is playing your lights off of your darks. So here we have a drag brow that's going to be quite dark, and then we're going to go in with the white and make sure that it's nice and light underneath, just to give you that nice contrast effect for the stage. Now because I do the top of my forehead first, this means that I can clean up the face as I go underneath. This means any eyeshadow fallout can be picked up or any foundation can be wiped off. And don't worry, if you mess up the shape of your eyes, like I did here, you can just go back in with your paintbrush and just even them up on either side. Now because you've been using creams, you do need to set as you go, so you're just going to go back in with your setting powder and dust all of that off, and you have a nice set foundation base to go back in with your powders in a bit. Now I'm using the Luscious eyeshadow palette, which was gifted from I Saw It First. Thank you for that, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just going to go back in at the outer corners of my drag brow with a dark brown colour and provide some depth to the brow and to the face really. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure the outer corners are dark, and once you've done that you can go back in with a nice lighter brown tone on the palette in the middle and pull that down into the middle of the forehead, and that will just give you that nice ombre effect that you're going for. Now because I'm daft about my under eyebrow highlight, I go back in now with some white concealer just to make sure that that is as white as possible. And then what you're going to see here is the contrast on either side. It just makes sure that the shadows that you're going to use in a bit are really going to come up nice and bright. So I add in some more cream white concealer, and once I've done that, I'm just going in with some white eyeshadow to set that cream again. Now I'm using the Luscious eyeshadow palette just to map out the shape of my crease. What you can do is you can just add one layer of shadow and then another if you like, but make sure as you go that you are blending this out into the white that you've already put down. This just makes it easier to build depth on the eye, because once you have blended that out you can go back in again with another layer of shadow and then a darker layer of shadow just to bring that up. So I'm using a mid-tone brown here, and then I will go back in now with a darker tone of brown, and you can see that that provides a contrast and it provides depth to the eye. Now my trick to drag makeup, like I've said, is always contrasting your lights and your darks. So just make sure that where you have a light point, you're contrasting it with dark. And that's really what we're doing with the eyes. We're making sure that the white underneath the brow bone contrasts and fades into our darker shadow underneath. Once you've done that, you can grab your white concealer and paintbrush, and you're going to map out the shape of your new crease. Now this point does require a little bit of precision because you do want them to be relatively similar on either eye. But what I will say is don't worry if you muck it up. I rarely get this right first time. So you can always just go back in with your shadow like I'm doing now and just make sure that they are a little bit more symmetrical on either side. You're just going to go in with the white concealer, mapping it out, the shape of the crease and filling in your eyelid. And because the concealer is a cream, of course, again, we are going to then set that with a powder, which is the white eyeshadow as you see now. Now I'm going in with some black eyeshadow just along the outer corner of the eye and down along the crease to add more depth. Just be careful when you're using black, use it sparingly because it is a very dark colour, so it's easier to add and build on the black as opposed to adding too much and trying to take it off. So going down the crease, as you can see here, just deepens that and provides a contrast. And of course you can sharpen up your concealer if you mess that up, like I did. What I also like to do as well, as you'll see now, is I like to grab a clean brush and just sort of fade out the black into the white concealer that's on the eye already, and that just creates a nice blended effect on the outer corners of the eye. And a wee bit of liner goes a long way, so I just mark out the outer corners with some black liquid eyeliner. Now on to the next part, which is the foundation on the face. So just rub in your primer nice into the cheeks and the neck, make sure it's all coated. And then you're going to go in with your base foundation again. Just blend that all out with a nice big beauty blender, which is going to provide a base for the rest of your creams. Now I go in with my light foundation shade on the light points of my face and the inner parts. And then I'm going to grab my beauty blender and just blend that all out on the light parts of the face. Going in now with my darker contour colour and cream foundation, I'm just adding that on and I'm just going to blend it right up the cheekbone, right up quite far because I prefer a fuller drag cheek. So just take it right up as far as you want to go. Make sure it's all nice and blended out onto your light tone. And what this does is it creates essentially two lines straight down the face to give you a very snatched mug. Then going in with a medium tone foundation, you're just going to highlight underneath the cheeks, and this is just going to carve out that nice round cheekbone. I love this part, it's one of my favourite parts. You're just going to blend it down and you're just going to see the cheeks look nice and round and nice and full, those lovely high snatched cheekbones. If you have a big square man jaw like me, don't forget to contour that away as well with some cream contour. You can go in with some bronzer later just to make a more feminine jawline. It is also important to blend your foundation down into your neck, so make sure you're using your lightest tone at the bottom and then going in with your medium tone in the middle just to blend it from dark into medium into light, and that should be your foundation blended down the neck. Going in with an angled brush now, I'm getting my dark cream foundation colour and I'm just going down the nose in a sort of triangle motion to create a nice, thin, snatched, feminine nose. This part does actually require a little bit of precision as well, so concentrate on this part. Make sure it's nice and even on either side. You just essentially want two lines down either side of the nose, and then once you have done that, what you can do is you can go in with the edge of your finger, which you'll see in a second, and you'll just see me blending that out now. I prefer this as opposed to a beauty blender because I feel that putting the beauty blender into the face gives you a chance to smudge your foundation. So going in with a finger for this point is fine. Once you've done that, set all of the cream foundation with your translucent powder. Try not to choke yourself like I just did. And make sure it's all set as well. And go in and dust all of that off. And that is you. The cream foundation base has been set. You have a good base to go in with your powders in a bit. And also you can go in and you can bake, as the term is. And you can add some setting powder onto the light parts of the face just to keep them nice and light. Now what you see here is I'm going back in with my medium tone eyeshadow from the Luscious eye palette. Underneath the eye, I'm just whapping that on and I'm blending it out. And I like quite a big dramatic eye, so I take mine down quite far into the nose. You don't need to go as far as this if you don't like, but I like to pull it right down and create that horizontal snatched eye look. Using the same brush that I used the black, I go in now as well. I don't use any more product, I just use the excess because this is quite dark and you don't want underneath to be too dark, just to provide a little bit of depth and contrast into the eyes. Going back in now with your white cream concealer, you're just going to sharpen up that triangle at the inner corner of the eye just to create a nice geometric shape. Because this is a cream, of course, you will have to set that, so you're going to go back in with some white eyeshadow and that will just set that cream nice and smooth for you. Next up is the finishing touches. Now, no Lady Rampant face would be finished without a little rhinestone, so I actually add 6. I add one on the inner corner, outer corner, and underneath the brow bone, and then I do the same on the other eye. But rhinestones are not good for the environment, so try and reuse them if you're adding them as much as possible, please. And I also go in with a wee baby wipe and clean that up in case my fingers have been dirty. Then you're going to dust off that baking powder and you're going to go in now with your bronzer powder and a big bronzer brush and just add some colour to the face and some depth to the cream foundation that you used earlier on. Next up is some blush. And blush really warms up the face. I love blush. It's a nice chance for you just to add some colour into the cheeks, look at the difference, and really just warm up that face into the brown bronze that you've already added on the cheeks. And a wee bit on the end of the nose doesn't go a harm either. I always like to add a wee bit of blush there just to make the nose pop. Now on top of that, just adding a little bit of highlighter. The highlighter I use is actually just a baked pressed highlighter, and you can go in just with a wee brush and add some on the apples of the cheeks. This will make sure that any light on the stage or any flash of a camera just makes the cheeks pick up the light and look lovely and round and shiny. Next, I add just a little dot just to the end of my nose with a white foundation colour, and this just makes my nose look nice and dainty. Next up is the lips, and what I do here is I grab an angled brush and I'm using the same colour as my lipstick, but I'm just mapping out the colour now and the shape just to give a nice round feminine lip. I actually prefer mapping it out first as opposed to just whapping it on, because you can really get that nice shape. Then just filling in the lip shape there that you've drew, filling that in with your lipstick. Now because this is a matte red that I've used, I wanted to add a little bit of gloss just to make sure that the lips are popping. So this is just some clear gloss added on. And once you've done that, you're going to just grab your setting spray. You're going to make sure that face is all set for the night. Jump off camera, add some lashes, and you're good to go. This is the finished look. What do you think? I think I feel absolutely gorgeous in this look, and do you know what? I feel quite expensive, and I'm not really an expensive queen, but I do feel it in this look, to be honest. It only took me, what, 13 minutes? I wish it took me 13 minutes to get into drag. Trust me. Anyways, like I said at the beginning, I am wearing ISAWITFIRST products and items, so let's run through them. I am wearing this gorgeous white satin blouse, which was gifted. It is absolutely stunning, by the way. It's even nicer in person. It's so sheer, it's so sleek. I really like this. And it's very much my drag, actually. I love it. And I'm also wearing these white woven circle earrings, which are just nice for like a wee daytime look, or say you're going to a summer barbecue but you don't want a heavy earring because you're going to be having a drink. These are perfect for that. They're nice and light and nice and summery. I'm also wearing these lovely nude nails, which just complement this white satin blouse as well. They're nice and feminine but also short, so perfect for drag for me because long nails get in the road of everything. And of course you also seen that I used the Luscious Nude eyeshadow palette in the tutorial, which actually, I didn't have any expectations of the palette, but to be honest, and I'm not just saying this, it did actually exceed them, because when I put the colour on, I could see that it was actually quite a high pigment. And with drag, if you're going out in makeup all night, even if you're doing drag or you're going to the club or whatever, you want your makeup to last. And actually, I felt like this shadow was really pigmented, so that's what you're wanting, especially on a night out, especially in summer. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching my makeup transformation. It's been a blast. Thank you very much, ISAWITFIRST, for having me and giving me this opportunity. If you like this video, then don't forget there is plenty more coming over Pride Month. We're going to be creating lots of content for you, so make sure you follow ISAWITFIRST on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course you can do the exact same for me at Lady Rampant on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Look for the queen with the red hair and the Scotland flags and you'll find me. Anyways, thank you for watching, and in the meantime, happy Pride!